All right. So our first question is about standardization. Okay. And um, what the question is really about most parents think that they should be operating off of some sort of manual. Okay. Some sort of very, very specific step by step procedure when they're supposed to teach a specific skill. Okay? However, when this parent listens to my lectures, they hear that the treatment is not, in fact, set in protocols and rigid and unchangeable, and that every child is different and every teaching method is different. And they really want to know, like, well, why is that? All right, so let me start off by saying standardization is not a bad thing by in and of itself. So when we're teaching a child any particular skill, we actually make sure the entire team knows how we're teaching this child that particular skill, from every instruction that we give them to the expectations we have of the child, to how they need to be reinforcing any type of behavior. So where does this individualization aspect come into play in terms of, oh, when we actually work with that one particular child, we don't do the exact same thing from one child to another. And the reason is exactly because they are different from each other, that no two kids are the exact same. And so just like every one of us, we react differently to our environment. I don't react the same as Eugen, and we are all very different from each other in terms of the way that we learn, the way that we process information. And so in order to maximize a child's learning, you individualize the teaching to match the child better. So the cleanest example I can have for this is, let's say you have a manual for a car. Okay, and you have a car. Hey, here's a car. Okay, but you have a manual for a completely different make and model than the car that you have. So the manual you have is for a regular unleaded gas engine, but the car you have is actually a diesel leaded engine. Okay, you cannot apply the same thing and expect it to run efficiently. So everything that you learn with me isn't about just making progress. It's not just about like, oh, okay, how can we get this child to learn? Everything you learn with me is really about how can we maximize this child's learning? How can we get the child to learn as fast as they possibly can? All right, so that's why we really individualize everything that we do, because we want to take the child's unique strengths and weaknesses and really target building up their strengths and utilizing those strengths to help out in their weaknesses, and really to address those weaknesses so that the child gets improved overall.